Wyoming considers itself the hub of Lambton County. The community itself is very much agricultural based, and a lot of the people that live in Wyoming also work in a larger city, Sarnia, close by. Sarnia is heavily into petrochemical industry, so the two sort of complement each other, we find. The petrochemical industry draws heavily from the public around the city. A lot of those are agricultural guys, and if you were to go into Sarnia, you'd see a lot of the people from the outlying communities actually work in Sarnia. Well, when we were looking for a house, we're sitting in the reason why we came to Wyoming. We were fortunate enough to find a house that my wife liked. Of course, I liked it as well. And this shop here was the primary reason why we settled here. And of course, I know Wyoming very well. I grew up around here and have lots of friends in Wyoming. Out of high school, I went into some construction, civil type work, concrete finishing. From there, I was able to pick up a temporary position in the hospital as a painter during the wintertime. The job there turned into full-time. Was able to move up and progress through some of the levels there. Before I was able to get a director's position at the hospital, I had gone back to school and completed some courses that allowed me to get the training that I needed to gain a millwright's license. When we were trying to build a new hospital in Sarnia, there was a lot of political pressure at the time with the healthcare industry, and I just noticed one day there was an article in the Sarnia Observer. Enbridge Pipelines was looking for a millwright, and yeah, that served very well going to Enbridge, and been there now for going on 10, 11 years, and I call it the best kept secret in Sarnia. What Enbridge does is we operate one of the world's largest pipeline systems, and we primarily maintain and operate large capacity crude oil pumps. We also maintain a really intricate belting system as well. As part of the preventative maintenance program, we have to go in and we have to change mechanical seals. We change bearings in the pumps, same with the valves. And so when I made that change to go to Enbridge, I said, this is what I want to see changed in my career. Is that I want to be able to work at a place where I can come in and give my full focus to the job, and then when I'm done at the end of the day, I can completely focus back on my family and what I'm doing at home. To me, when I'm working in the garage, I'm very much a task-oriented person. I like to see things checked off a list. When I'm out here working on stuff and it's done and it rolls out, or whether it's mine or just a friend of mine, it's a good feeling to see something completed and it's finished. Going back to my childhood, I can remember my father's friends, other farmers in the community. They would sometimes tinker around in their shops in the wintertime and build different things for their farm. And I remember a couple of guys built lawn rollers. And they actually took an old farm-all tractor and cut it down and put rollers on it where the wheels used to be. And they'd come around and in the springtime have them on trailers and travel and do lawns. So I remember seeing a couple of those and thought, oh, that's kind of a neat project. I'd like to try to build one of them sometime and maybe scale it down to the point where you could use it more residential than out in the farming community. So when I did mine, I wanted to keep it about 48 inches wide so I can get into backyards and stuff like that. That machine there was sort of designed right in this one spot on the floor, and there's still scrape marks on the concrete where Ben and myself and Dad would sit here and we tried to get the geometry right. We wanted to make sure that the steering worked, and it got to the point where we were just scraping on the floor, and it went through 5 or 6 different renditions of the geometry to get the hydraulic cylinder to push the same distance each way and give us the biggest radius we could get to turn sharp. Of course, where I work, we have opportunity to purchase some scrap pipe ends and metal like that. And so I was able to get a few different pipe sizes and weld some ends on them and build a frame and a propulsion system for it. And I decided hydraulically that was the way to go. And then it really snowballed from there. The name on it, Rollinator, that wasn't me, that was just a bunch of guys at work. A play on the Terminator, of course, so that's how that came about, and it just sort of stuck. My dad, he was always working on something. He always prided himself in having a well-stocked shop. Every one of our pieces of equipment had a toolbox on it. It was fitted with the basic set of tools, wrenches, sockets. And if we didn't put something back, we certainly heard about it because he wanted everything where it was supposed to be when he needed it. And again, I'm doing that with my son all the time. When he's in here working, I find stuff left all over the place. And I'm like, yeah, I guess that's the way I was. He's welcome to anything that's in here. Please make sure it's back where it's supposed to be when I need to use it. You know, nothing is off limits. He can take what he needs and use it. What I like to tell Ben is that if you're fortunate enough to have a shop like this, I think you need to be able to help other people, friends, when they're having some problems with your car, or just somebody at work that just needs a spot to work on something, to put their vehicle up and check out the noise underneath. And I love doing that, so I try to open it up to that one as much as I can.